Hey YouTube, so okay, let's jump right into this. If you go to Google and you search how to be a private pilot or what does it cost to be a private pilot, you are going to find the top few results will be more or less advertisements, but they're going to be for flight schools, and I'm sure these schools are really great. A lot of them offer accelerated programs, so there's one that you can go and stay there for 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks they'll have you ready for your check ride, or they will have the check ride offered right there on their campus. So that's really cool, but at the same time it's going to cost you about $15,000 to $20,000. Forget all that. What I have done, nothing special, it's just a different route. So what I've done is I know an instructor, a flight instructor, a training instructor, and I called him and said, hey, you know, what's it going to cost me per hour to work towards my private pilot's license? And the short answer of that is $125 an hour. But here's the thing, that still seems like a lot of money, and it is, but here's the thing. I live in southeast Kentucky, in rural Kentucky. We have a small airport nearby. It's nice, but it's small, and they have 2 airplanes for rent. One is a older Cessna 172 and one is a newer Cessna 172. The older one is a 1977 model, and the newer one is like a 2001 model 172 SP. It's fuel injected. Quite a bit nicer plane, quite a bit nicer than the old one, but the old one is it's in perfect mechanical condition. It flies great. The interior is a little beat up. It's a training plane, so you know you don't have to take your training in a Cirrus. You don't have to take it in something brand new. You're training. Not everything is going to fly as well as a new Cirrus, and so forth and so on. So the thing to get in your head is you can do this by the hour. The plane that I fly is $90 an hour, and that includes fuel. And then my instructor is $35 an hour. And they charge in tenths of an hour. So there's a couple misconceptions here. The first one is, yeah, the plane may be around $100 an hour, but you have to buy the fuel too. No, you don't. That's included in the monthly rental price. So that's a very important misconception, because 100 LL at our airport is just a few cents over $5 a gallon, and that's 172 that I fly at Cruise is gonna take anywhere between 8 and 11 gallons an hour, closer to 8, but in that range. So that's a considerable, I guess you'd call it a savings. So and then my instructor has been flying since he was 16. He's 70 years old, been flying for 54 years. He's absolutely amazing. He knows what he's doing. He's a wealth of aviation knowledge. So, you know, I've got that going for me too. But regardless, anytime that you talk to friends or a family member, you know, you just bring it up in conversation, you're thinking about, you know, attempting to get your private pilot's license, the first thing that someone's always going to say is, wow, that's a lot of money. You must be made of money. How can you afford that? Yada, yada, yada. Well, and, you know, in their defense, it is a lot of money, but also they're not very educated on what they're talking about. And usually the people that don't know what they're talking about will talk the most about it. So, and I've experienced that in the past. I've talked to friends and a couple family members, and they all talk about how expensive it is and how much it costs to fly airplanes and this and that. And you know, you just kind of shrug the idea off and go on. But the mistake that people make is to let other people determine what they can afford. I fly on the weekends. I'll fly an hour, hour and a half on the weekends, and I don't do it every weekend. I do it as I can afford it. I've got a mortgage, married, I've got 3 kids, got a whole bunch of pets, got 2 car payments. So, you know, we don't have a lot of extra money, and when we don't have the money, I don't fly. I don't put my family in a hard spot just to go and get a little time in an airplane. But sometimes I do have a little money left over, and I can go fly for an hour or so. So that's the key to all of this, is getting that experience, getting those hours under your belt. And you know, you don't want to wait 2 months between flights. So I'm not telling you that you can spread this out over 4 or 5 years and be successful and only require 40 hours to get there, because if you're spending large stretches of time between lessons, you're probably going to have to relearn some of the stuff that you've already paid to learn. So keep that in mind. But you know, I've had good experience, and just doing this on the weekends, just doing it every now and then, an hour at a time, I can get to my 40-hour goal and hopefully be check ride ready. I've got a whole lot to learn. I've just had a few lessons, but I'm learning, and that's the key to all of this, and I'm learning at a rate that I can afford. So, you know, I've had this excitement in me about it as of late, and before I started my lessons, and talking to other people, it seems like they unintentionally are trying to quash your excitement about it. So don't let that happen. If you talk to someone about, you know, a future in aviation or private pilot's license, becoming a commercial pilot, anything like that, if you talk to someone about this, make sure that the person you're talking to is educated on the subject. You can make chit chat with anybody about it, but don't let their opinions affect your excitement level, and that's the key to all of this. So anyway, that, you know, I'm going to get through my 40 hours at about $5,000, but I'm going to spread that over several months. So yeah, it's still a lot of money to me. $5,000 is a lot of money, but a little bit here and there is a lot easier to swallow than having to come up with $5,000 to go take 40 hours of flight training. So keep that in mind. If you're excited about it, keep that excitement. Maybe you still can't afford it. That's always a possibility. I'm still a very lucky person, but you know, you are the director of your own story. So if conditions aren't good for you, change them. There's always something you can do. So anyway, keep that excitement up. Don't let anyone else make your decisions for you, and maybe, just maybe, you can work it out like I did. Good luck. If you do fly, be safe. Get a good instructor like I've got, and you're going to enjoy every single minute of this school. So till next time, see you later, take care, and have a great day.